I really hope you guys are enjoying the series, the granularity, and the details that are coming out of this thing. Because we're seriously trying to build not princess bikes, but drag cars with, the 8.8. I am trying to build a serious and competitive drag car out of the Fox body, which already starting with the Fox body, I feel like is a huge advantage. But we need everything to go right. You can't just slap it together, cross your fingers that that's all you need, and it's going to just carry you the way at just being fast at the drag strip. So let's go ahead and continue on the series of building the Ford 8.8, because this on this video we're going to install lower control arm brackets. All right. So in my hand, I have the lower control arm that I'm going to be using for my Fox bike. This is a UPR Extreme lower control arm. And obviously, there is a spring perch on here because we do intend to have a factory style rear suspension. So we're going to have the divorced spring and shock, which mounts to this guy. This is the second pair of lower control arm brackets that I bought. The first pair were 10 Soldiers race cars lower control arm brackets, but those were not meant for stock control arms. We need something for stock control arms. That's where this comes in, because this is for stock control arms. And it's the width was the big deal. The width for the 10 Soldiers was meant for their lower control arms, which is much, much narrower. But we got the Team Z lower control arms, and we're ready to basically attach these to the car. Now, why doesn't these lower control arm brackets that come with the housing work? Well, there's only one hole, and that's not enough anti-squat. We need to be able to have some adjustability. So these guys, if I'm not mistaken, this is where the factory hole is an equivalent on the factory deal on this bracket. And we have several steps that we can go down, which is going to adjust our instant center and basically allow us to control and change how much anti-squat we want to have. These control arms are also adjustable, so we can kind of change the length of these lower arms as well as the upper arms, because I did get the extreme upper control arms as well. These are double adjustable. What needs to happen now is I need to get that assembled rear axle put onto these jack stands, and preferably kind of over here closer to the welder, so that we can cut, weld, fabricate, and we need to make a repair. I'll point that out in a sec. All right, now that we have the rear axle and all that nonsense out the way, because no more brakes, no more axles, basically we've got it where we need it, broken down to where we need it, right? No more control arms so they flop around, get in the way. Those braces are fine, they can stay there for now, and of course the back brace, that kind of helps protect the diff as we move it around. Say it falls off the jack stands, which it's done that already, unfortunately. But it protects the gear. That way we don't have no nonsense with damaging that. Now, this particular side, it needs a little bit of addressing, because if you can see, yeah, there you go. You can see some daylight. You can see my hand on the other side. There's a crack. That crack is from someone trying to remove that bearing that goes right here, and they stretched, and this has already been kind of weakened from rust and hanging out in the weather. And this is also not that thick, not as thick as you think it is, but someone ripped that sheet. Now we just need to kind of butter that up. Okay, so easy peasy, we can do that for sure. But we also need to cut off the quadra-link bracket and the lower control arm bracket. But we will first take some measurements and make some marks to make sure we put the Team Z brackets in the right spot. On on both sides, we've got majority of the bracket cut down. So now I got another grinder. That's my cutoff wheel grinder. Yes, I'm wearing shorts, but hey dudes. And basically I got a flapper disc on here. We're going to smooth these guys down because we got pretty much the bulk of things knocked off. We're going to try and get these kind of somewhat smooth. Alright, of course you know what time it is. I mean, we did what we said we're going to do. We cut off the, you know, these nonsense quadra-link brackets, you know. Kept the rear axle solid. We didn't dig into the rear axle, at least nothing to worry about, at least. So anyways, so we got these cut off, ground smooth. Now we got to cut these guys off. But before we cut these guys off, we need to measure. Okay? We need to measure. We need to measure. We need to measure. It's very important that we measure. Not scientific, but hey, we will give it a go. Because, like, see, there's no weld that we gotta really cut off on this spot. So that's where making this mark is pretty reliable. Because it's a good chance it's not gonna get grounded off. Same with that guy, you know. Alright. So try to get this. Ooh. That is about 38. Alright, we're going to take care of this crack first. Good enough. The goal that I have for today is to try and get this welded up. Now, I was thinking I was going to get closer. That says this angle finder that's on the machine face on the back is set for 89.5 degrees. Okay, and I know this guy, if I drop it a couple times, all right, now it's 88.5. It has to go right here. This is where I have my mark. And if I put that guy right there, all I need to do is get this to match. Where's magnets? I need magnets. Perfect. And that will now be held in place. Whew. There we go. Both of these say 88.4, 88.4. Where's my damn torch? Okay. Just so you guys can see what I'm seeing. 88.4, 88.4. So this right here is going to match the machine surface of there, because if you look, it already has these arches kind of played out. So as that arm swings upward, or sorry, downward, because the axle's upside down right now, but as you swing to go for a lower bolt hole, it moves closer in that radius of how these lower control arms will spin. So we got these on. We just need to go get the other ones on, the other side. We'll put those on the other side, and we're going to go measure like we did previously. So it's going to be, what was it, 38? So before we tack this thing, let's go ahead and send this measurement. 38. Right on the money. We already have the degree set, 88.6, 88.6 over here. So 88.5, 88.5. So I'd say that is a job well done. We got both Team Z lower control arm brackets welded to the axle, ready to rock and roll. And for the next video, we're going to be installing the Team Z gusset. And I've already kind of test fitted on there. It does need a little bit of trimming, but it is almost perfect fit. And that's going to be tomorrow's video. So basically, how many more parts, how many more things could we possibly do to this thing? Well, don't worry. We are coming to an end, and we'll also have a final video explanation for everything to explain the full recipe. Camera lens is a little dirty. Anyways, I'm going to get that fixed. But meantime, we have the lower control arm brackets on. We need to get the Team Z gusset plate on. We need to fill it up with fluid. Oh, and we need to paint it. We're going to paint the whole deal. And once we have it painted, we'll explain full picture again of why everything is done to just transform this thing into just battle ready, I guess, as some people call it. Pretty excited because yeah, we are coming to a pretty much the end of this whole series, and I love doing the content this way because one, I get more videos out to you guys. You guys get further in-depth explanations and just more of transparency of how we're going to make this thing go real fast. So I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video and hit the like button, comment down below, and if it's your first time here, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe. See you guys on the next one.